Hello and welcome to Art Studio Nagoya. In today's video I want to talk about a camera that I really love, the Pentax SP in this case the SP II. First I'm gonna kind of introduce the camera so get an idea, then I'm gonna go through the features, getting close to the camera, and finally I'm gonna explain you a little bit what I think of the camera, the price, how is to use the camera and so on. Okay, so let's start it. So the Pentax SP are kind of a family of cameras. I mean, they share the same chassis, and there is even cameras that are not called SP, the S2, the SP, the SP2, and there is other models. They are very similar, but they have different features. Some of the small features are different. Some have light meters, some doesn't have light meters, and so on. So let's get to the basic. First of all, this is an SLR camera, a 35mm camera, and it's a manual camera. Don't need batteries to operate, although the light meter needs battery if your camera have a light meter. They are very well made, but they were not considered a professional level camera because they lack some features that at the moment they were necessary to be considered a professional camera, like removal, like you could remove the prisms to get different types of prisms, where you cannot with this one. But don't let that fool you. This is a camera that a professional could use the whole career, and it's a phenomenal camera. It's not only a starter's kind of camera, okay? It's an M42 screw mount lens, and they were designed for the famous Super Takumar lenses, like this one here. So how you mount it? You put it here and you basically screw like this, okay? It's not a bayonet system. It takes a little bit more time, and I think that's the reason it got kind of substitute later for the bayonet system in all the models, okay? Including Pentax case that were later after these ones. These ones were running in the 60s and 70s, and then they came mount, okay? What else to tell you? I mean, those are kind of the characteristics of the camera. So I think we can move to the functionality, okay, the features. So I'm gonna just get the camera close here. Let's see how it works with the focus. Okay, so starting from the front, as we usually do. In the front, you have here the self timer, okay? The self timer, you have to be sure that you cock the camera, then you put it down, and they have a button here. If you press the button, it's gonna activate it, and you're gonna hear, I think the mirror goes up first, and then it takes the picture, and the shutter goes up. Okay, you have to advance again. Okay, then in the other side here, which is very difficult to see, I don't know if you can see. There you go. Here you have two buttons. Okay, these usually are exposed. I'm very lucky that I have the original buttons covering. These are the ports for the flash. Okay, have two ports here. All the models have two ports here, and most of them, or most of the cameras, you're not gonna find the original covers. This is pretty rare because the condition of this camera was really good. Okay, and yeah, you have the straps here. The other thing is this thing. This is the light meter switch to turn on and off, and the light meter is through the lens, so you have to, if you get close, I don't know if you can see it, when you activate this, why you cannot see it? Is this side? It was working before. Okay, I think now it's open. Now it's closed. Now it's working. So this is how it works. It's gonna close your iris, so you can get the real light that the iris is gonna get. So you gotta be careful. So I think the way to use this camera is you turn it up, you get your exposure right, you turn it down, and then you compose and focus at the end. Okay, so you have to do that in two movements usually. Okay, let's go to the top. I'm gonna cover this. So if you look at the camera from the top, first you see, like at least in the Super Takumars, the operation of the F numbers is on the lens, and the focus 2 with the scale distance. And you have this button is what I was fighting before. This is a button that is gonna give you a preview also of the F number. It's gonna close the iris and it's gonna keep it closed. Or if you turn in the other position, it's gonna be open, and it's gonna close just for the photos. That's what it's called auto, because it's automatically it's gonna close when the photo is taken. Okay, and then I don't know, this is better to see the feature this way, no? So if we go this way, here is just your shutter, advanced lever, counter, your speed is going from 1000 to 1 second, and then ball. This is to activate the how can I say, the ISO. You clip this up and then you turn and get the different ISO. This is for marking your speed, but also when you change the speed in combination of a specific ISO, this is gonna become red. I don't know why, and if someone can explain to me in the comments, I will be so happy, because I never know why that works. And here there's a red bottom, difficult to see, it's a red hole. So that's because the shutter is cocked. If I take the photo, it's gonna become black. It's very difficult to see, but it's a way to indicate that your shutter is cocked. And here in the other side, you have, sorry, I didn't mention this one. This one, the SP2, is the only one have a hot shoot. Usually other models are gonna have a cold shoot, or they are not gonna have anything there. Okay, it depends on the models, and some of them they have like something external that you attach to the back, and then you have a cold shoot here. Anyhow, in here you have your advanced lever, and you have some reminders here of the type of 36 exposures to 27, or if it's black and white color, or like twist and balance the film. Okay, it's just reminders. So if we go here, here is your rewind button, and then you can rewind. Here is the tripod screw, and here's the battery. Don't ask me what kind of battery, sorry, I cannot help you with that, because I never use the light meter, so I don't care about the battery in this camera, so you're gonna have to search that. To open the camera, pop this up, it's open. Here you have your film, here you have your spool, and yeah, like any SLRs, this is a plate to hold the pressure, and here's the shutter curtain that goes this way. Okay, it travels that way in this case. It's not like titanium or anything like that. Okay, it's just a curtain. That's okay. Those are the features of the camera. Now, moving on to explain some of the things I like of this camera, or they are important. First of all, M42 mount lens is a very specific type of mount lens. There were tons of lens produced of this lens, but they're most of them old lenses. So if you are looking for lenses that have some kind of characteristics, these are very good cameras. But if you're looking for a very clinical new kind of glass, it's very difficult to mount new lenses here, you know, because they're not in production, most of them. Voigtlander did a few years ago, but they're very rare. Usually you're gonna find tons of Russian lenses, like the famous Helios, or all the super Tagumars are M42, and I think Chinon and other brands at the time they were making these type of M42 mounts, but it's difficult to find new lenses for this camera. Okay. The other way around, these lenses, the M42, if you have the lenses, are very easy to adapt to a camera. Of course, the mirrorless cameras, all the cameras can adjust these lenses, but even the DSLRs like the Canon EOS, they can easily adjust these lenses. Actually, I use it with these kind of adapter, which is very thin. You just put it in the camera, and you can start using these manual lenses in your digital camera. So that's a very good bonus. Now, especially by example, I have this macro lens. I use it in the digital camera to digitalize my negatives and save money that way, and it was pretty cheap. Price. So let's talk about the price. The prices of cameras are getting super high in 2021, as everyone knows, but these cameras are still relatively cheap, especially here in Japan. These cameras, you can find it like with a lens for 100 to 150, usually with a 55 1.8 millimeters or with a 50 1.4. They are very typical combos. This one cost me, because I bought it in a second-hand store, cost me like $16 with this 55 that I have here. Now I have to say the lens, I don't feel like using this lens because I have a little bit of fungus and it's not clean. It's not clean. So I decided to remove the lens, clean the camera, and I bought a couple of other lenses. I bought the 35 3.5 and the 1.4, the 51.4 third version, the 8 blades. And these together were, with the camera, all together will be like $150 or less, okay, all together, which is a really good price, okay. So yeah, price really good, and you have access to tons of very beautiful and old-fashioned kind of lenses if you're into that. As I say at the beginning, I think this is a camera that you can make your career with. And the last anecdote that I think speaks for the really how much I like it and how good I think this camera is that actually I have a 1XP in black, and I ended up selling the camera because I thought I have too many cameras and that I will not give the use that deserve, and I ended up buying another one later, like less than 1 year later. That means that I really love to use this camera. So yeah, there's something to say about this camera, that from many other cameras, this is a camera that keeps coming to me. This is something that I really like to use. So that's gonna be all for today. I hope you find this video useful, and yeah, I see you in the next video, okay. Hope you like this video, and if you like it, please like it. Thinking to subscribe. I'm gonna keep talking about things related with Japan, the cameras, the books in the future, photo books I mean, galleries, labs, going outside and taking pictures in nature, so on and so forth. Check my Instagram account where you can see not only is my work, but you can see photos taken with all the cameras that I'm taking here, and you can see photos of Japan, what I think is real Japan, okay. Out of the, you know, like the Kinkakujis and the monuments in Kyoto and so on. What I take pictures is the daily life in a normal city in Japan. So I hope you enjoy that. Art Studio Nagoya is the Instagram account. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.